Well, it looks like Christmas is coming early for Nintendo fans this year. They've unveiled new stuff coming to Mario Maker 2. I'm Peter Brown here with Evan Langer. We got to check out some of the new Mario Maker 2 DLC, which includes new Zelda content for Mario. And it was pretty fun.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a lot of fun. I know in the previous Mario Maker game, you could get the amiibo costumes that allows you to be Link, but now you can actually be Link with the Master Sword. You have a lot of his abilities. Like, you can use the sword and the shield to block all the enemies coming at you. You can use a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
You can use bombs, and this adds like a whole new level to the levels you can create in Super Mario Maker 2.
And we just saw pretty basic levels that Nintendo had constructed, not for distribution to everyone to prove what's completely capable with all these tools, right? We just sort of got like the basic proof of concept stuff they made just for our little demo. And I'm already scared of what people are going to do with these different abilities, but I'm also pretty excited because, as you said, you can be Link, and you really do get the sense when you're using all his various abilities, like having the bow and arrow, for example, you really feel like you're playing a side-scrolling Zelda platformer, and it's pretty fun. And of course, Mario Maker 2 has lots of nice touches, like, you know, sound effects and maybe like beams of light to sort of make a moment feel more epic. And obviously people are really good at making puzzles as well. So yeah, we got a little taste of that, and it definitely felt like a hardcore Zelda experience when we decided to play it together in co-op as two different Links.
Yeah, it's kind of nice because all the colors, it's kind of like four swords where it's like green, red, blue, and purple. And then, yeah, you can definitely take on more with more people in those levels, especially like with the Zelda-driven levels that are puzzles. You can kind of work together on those puzzles when there's like P-blocks and on and off switches, so you can work together in that sense to get those levels done.
Yeah, your bombs and bows and arrows, those are really good for hitting things in the distance, and I'm sure people are going to do some really clever stuff with that. But that's not all we saw, of course. That's probably the biggest thing I would say that they've unveiled for Mario Maker 2, but we also got a look at Spike, a familiar character, the little green guy who barfs up spike balls and throws them at you. He's going to be in Mario Maker 2 now, in I think a few of the different tile sets, right? Like in the new Super Mario Brothers U and just Super Mario Brothers 3, or is he also in Super Mario World? I can't recall.
From what they showed us,
yeah,
he was just in Super Mario Brothers 3 and Super Mario Brothers U.
Right, okay.
It's possible that he's also in Super Mario World, but probably not in the original 8-bit Super Mario Brothers.
You know, I wouldn't say as big of a game changer as the Zelda stuff, but still pretty cool. It's another tool for people to utilize, and in our experience, what that was doing a lot of platforming by having to do the spin jumps on the different spikes to bounce across, say, you know, big pitfalls and survive. And those are pretty tricky for us to pull off. Yeah, and the other returning character or enemy, you know, from previous games is Pokey, the cactus that we've seen in a bunch of games, pretty much represented as it was in Super Mario Brothers 3 and Mario Maker 2. And kind of similar to the spike ball, it's like an opportunity for something to bounce off of when doing platforming. But we saw like one really weird moment where they were like, there was a series of Pokey cactuses that were like flying in unison that I had to like bait to like swim a certain, or fly. They move like they swim, move a certain direction and have to bounce off their head. It was weird. It was weird, but kind of cool.
Yeah, and you can also make them as tall or as short as you want them to be,
right?
Which can add a whole new level of challenge, especially if you add Yoshi to the level. You can just have Yoshi eat the entire thing up.
Yeah. We also, what was it? The frozen coins, right? Those are, I would say, probably a minor addition, but they become more interesting when you start to realize how the different enemies in the game can actually destroy these frozen coin blocks. Could you describe how those work a little bit?
Yeah, so outside of the fire flower you can use to unfreeze the frozen blocks, you can also have fire cheep flying around, and those can just kind of fly through them. You can also have the spinning fire wheel go around and
just cut through
all of them. Yeah, you can also have Bowser. You can have Bowser in between the ice blocks.
They put us in a fight with him, yeah, where it was basically just like walls and walls and walls of these ice blocks with coins inside, but also enemies inside, and then also fire flower power-ups inside. It was very chaotic, like cascading like ice blocks, like breaking, revealing new dangers and stuff like that. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's a minor addition, but it's definitely cool if you're making a nice level, or if you want to kind of entice people with coins but not make it immediately available for them to grab.
I guess last but probably not least would be the Ninja Speedrun mode. That is the sort of thing that Nintendo is going to be designing levels and uploading them for a period of time for everyone to try out. They should be difficult. Obviously, they'll probably be pretty good because Nintendo's making them in-house. But the cool thing is, if you're one of the top performers, you actually get to carry on with like stars floating around your character, your Mii, or I guess your Mii, right?
Yeah, it would be
Yeah,
your, I
it
guess, your
would be your
Mii
Mii.
character with
Yeah.
your little Mario Maker outfits you've unlocked. Yeah, you have all these little ninjas following you that are like ghosts of other players.
Imagine like at the end of like a Meat Boy run in Super Meat Boy, like when you die all those times and you watch it play back your fastest, it'll show all the ones that died before you, right? It's like that.
Yeah, it's essentially, it almost seems like they're all trying to tackle you while you're trying to run, but they're just trying to pressure you to be the best you can be. And then, yeah, some of the top players going to get those gold stars around you, like you said, so you can prove that you're the best at Super Mario Maker 2.
Yeah. I can only imagine what Nintendo has in store for us. And like I said before, I'm a little scared, but also plenty excited to see what the community is going to do with these new tools. What's your favorite of the bunch?
Definitely the Legend of Zelda editions.
Yeah,
as a
has to
huge
be.
Legend of
Yeah.
Zelda fan, and as someone who's a little disappointed in the Dungeon Maker in Link's Awakening, I'd say this is nice because you get a lot of Link's abilities and you can design courses around that. One of the levels that Nintendo let us play was like a temple theme that had a lot of puzzles to it in the dungeons, and I think people can really take that and make some really unique stuff, especially because there are a lot of Zelda-inspired levels already out there in the course world.
Yep.
And now people can really add like the bow and arrow and the bombs and make it like a fully fledged Zelda level.
And even it'll have some of the music from the NES game too, like the dungeon music, which just instantly was like a really cheap way to get me, invested in playing more of this. So I can't wait to see more. Evan, maybe I'll challenge you to some of my levels. We'll see.
Of course, and I'll challenge you to some of mine. Although it is worth noting that 8-bit Super Mario Bros. Is the only way to use Link at the moment.
Yes, it's also worth noting you are much better than me at building levels. So, all right, thanks for listening, everyone. This has been the recent updates coming free for everyone who owns Super Mario Maker 2.